FlossTube. My name is Lindsay and welcome to my channel, The Scruffy Kitty. I named this channel after one of my cats who passed away shortly after I moved to the Northeast, and I thought this would be kind of a sweet way to remember her. So yeah, I started stitching consistently anyways, for about 5 years ago. Before that, my dad had kind of gave me an introduction of sorts. He had a couple of pieces hanging around our old house, and eventually kind of got my curiosity, and he showed me a couple of kits and kind of got me started. Although being as young as I was then, it didn't really stick. I picked up crocheting and knitting and did that for a number of years instead. Cross stitch didn't come around till, like I said, about 5 years ago. I was actually studying for a class in college. Chose to go to a Panera Bread, and there was this group of ladies there stitching, and I got curious and started talking to them. They said it was kind of cross stitch. Hey, I've done some of that, so they invited me to come back and join them sometime. About a month later, I actually did go back and join them and spend an afternoon with them stitching. And I've been stitching ever since. So, that's kind of a brief introduction. I'm originally from Knoxville, Tennessee, and now I live up in southeast Pennsylvania, near about an hour or so away from Philadelphia. I found out about FlossTube. Actually I can't quite remember if it was through a Facebook group or the local stitch store or how exactly, but it kind of helped me through moving process from moving from Delaware to Pennsylvania. So that was kind of a starter thing. I watched a couple of videos that I don't really remember who did them, unfortunately. I just remember one was a lady in Australia, another one from England, and another in, I think, Massachusetts, somewhere in New England. After that, I came across a friend of mine back in Tennessee who was doing a FlossTube, Cindy's Stitch, or Stitching. Cindy's Stitching. And knowing her from back home, that kind of made me feel like I was back home. So that was a very nice thing for me to watch while I was in the process of moving and settling down again for the second time in 2 years. So that was a great thing for me. And after that, I started watching other people on other channels and really forming kind of a, I guess, friends list or something. I binge watched Cindy's videos within a week or so, and then figured out or started searching for other people, and one night on a whim typed in cross-stitch designer FlossTube, and Kathy Haberman came up, and I started watching her videos, and watched, I think, about 3 or 4 the first night, and then finished the rest of her year-long series in about 3 days. And in that time, I started going through my stash and sorting it and going through things, and realized I have a lot of Kathy's patterns, and I really enjoy her work. I really enjoy watching her videos, and I've recently actually been buying more of her patterns, new releases and everything, and stitching them. As you will see shortly in my Maynia project pile. So that's pretty much how I got hooked into FlossTube, and after messaging with Cindy a couple of times, she asked me, hey, are you going to do a video? And at the time, the idea and prospect really kind of frightened me. Gave me the chills, and the more I thought about it, the more I liked the idea, so here I am. Finally, like 4 months later, making my own videos. Well, video, it's only the first one. So, welcome, and I hope everything goes well and that you enjoy the channel. So, I think just to kind of get things going, about a year or so I joined Cross-Stitch Mania on Facebook, and it was about summertime, so I didn't know about their Maynia, I guess, I'm not sure what you call it, Maynia craze. But from what I understand on Facebook, the idea is you pick out whatever year that is. This year is 2018, so 18 projects, or 30 if you want to, 31 if you want to go the entire month, and start a new project every day of the month. Well, I decided I'd go ahead and give that a try. So but I wasn't sure how many starts I wanted to do, if I wanted to go to 18 or go the whole 30 or not. But so I kind of actually, being my birthday month, I just went to 18, decided, okay, I can do 30 if I want, but ultimately my birthday, which is May 22nd, will be my cutoff day, and it turned out to be that this year. So I'm now going to go through my Maynia projects. So project number 1 was the Count Your Blessings by Mill Hill Beads. And forgive me, I'm still learning getting the hang of the my video recorder. And it also looks backwards to me, so hopefully it'll turn itself around. So that was the project, and I didn't get very far in my start. Let's get the board here. So I basically kind of just started into this this tree here. Some days I got more done than others, just kind of because of work and life. So sometimes I didn't start my Maynia projects till like 10 o'clock at night or something, and didn't get very far. But I made the effort. I started something every day. The second project I started was a hands-on design project by Kathy Haberman, and this was one of her freebie anniversary patterns. I just kind of started calling them her anniversary series because it seemed like the right thing to do. This particular pattern was called Love You More. Before, I actually only had the U and the O done, but I was starting to have trouble keeping track of which way was up, so I added the Y this morning so you could read it. So, and that free pattern's on our website. The next pattern I started, and I actually had a goal with my Maynia projects. I didn't actually accomplish it that well because I veered off, as you can see, with the first 2 days, and did kits and other patterns. But my original goal when I was starting to kit up things in April or so was to go through my cross-stitch Christmas, just cross-stitch Christmas ornament issue magazines and work on ornaments that I'd been looking at for years and years and just hadn't got around to doing. But as my interest kind of, month got closer and my interest kind of wavered, I ended up picking up and adding kits into the Maynia instead of having it all Christmas ornament issue magazine patterns. So this was the first ornament issue magazine pattern I did. 1 out of 4 candles in the Lights of Advent. And this was in the 2006 issue of Just Cross Stitch ornament issue. I tried to keep to the ornament thing, but as I was kitting stuff up, it was kind of like, I don't know. So kind of picked up other kits and stuff along the way too, so it's quite a mix. But I kept them small. So the next project is Santa's Stash, and this is from Full Circle Designs, and this was in the 2003 issue, Christmas ornament issue. By Linda Wickers, I think that's how you say your name, Wickers. This one I finished at the end of May, so May 31st. I tried to keep track of like the start and end dates, so it didn't actually tell me how long to do the projects. It just tells me when I started and when I ended them. So that's that wasn't my first Maynia finish, but that was, I think, like the second or third one I did as I went along. The next one is Snowflakes by Elizabeth Foster and Elizabeth Designs, and this was in the 2012 Christmas ornament issue. Very small, very cute and petite. Pretty much all of these are finished to some degree, but they're not in the fully finished stage. I'm just trying to finish the stitching part up. This one, I did not use the called for threads. I have a knack of changing out the threads and everything because, well, sometimes I just don't want to do them. So the blue is actually done with the blue silk. You might be able to see it with the light change. And then the white, I did this for another snowflake pattern a few years ago and I loved the result, so it's kind of become my thing of changing out the white floss for snowflakes and doing it with glow-in-the-dark floss. So all of the white here is done in glow-in-the-dark floss. So it will have a little evening glow if it gets enough light during the day. So, and this is where my Maynia starts getting a little weak and pathetic. Because they were projects that I started on kind of busier days, or we actually had company over for a couple of days during May, so in those couple of days I got a few projects started, but not enough to really tell much of anything, and this is one of them. I have to get really, really, really close up, and this there is the top of a sandcastle, which was the sweetheart tree at the beach. So, suffice it to say, I did not get very far whatsoever on this one. Just about 6 rows worth. Yeah, so about 24 stitches at most. Really pathetic. And this one, pretty much the same result. I'm not going to unfold the whole thing. This is my working copy, so I'm trying to not do the pattern part. But this is a black and white picture of what it's supposed to look like. And this is the Give Love for Christmas by Legacy Design, and this was in the 2015 Cross Stitch Ornament Issue magazine. And this little crown, the one you can see right here, well, maybe not very well, that's right above the two doves there. I actually did it once again like 11 o'clock at night or something. Got up the next morning and looked at it and realized I'd gotten a little carried away on the crown and did like 2 extra rows. So I frogged it and fixed it before I forgot what had happened, and it's been sitting that way ever since. Okay, so that was Maynia start number 7. Number 8, day 8, was the Christmas palm tree, another male hill kit. They're another one of my kind of go-to patterns when I want something small and kind of quick to do. And, okay, I need my thing back. And this little sky part is all I've done. I think it's right above the flamingo. Much improved after that. I think this was like the last or next to last day that our company was staying over, so after that it kind of sailed off. This next one, day 9, is Noel, and this was by Nancy Greenberg. I think her designer name is Pickle Barrel Designs, if I'm reading that right. And this was in the 2014 Just Cross Stitch issue. And I've actually made some progress on it this past week. Before I just had this middle banner and then part of this one done. Or no, this part of that one. So I've finished out the rest of the banners over the weekend, like late last week and this week. So now I'm just doing the filling in part and the white part on the L and the white and the snowflake there. So I'm slowly kind of making my way that way. And here we have another hands-on design piece. This one is You Hold My Heart. Really like this one. And this one's fully finished now. Or not fully finished, it's fully stitched. I was doing my best to use the fabrics I had from my stash that I've accumulated and trying to use up. So this particular one is, I don't know, it feels like wool. I have no idea what most of this fabric is, but I've been trying to guess, and this one stumped me. But, yeah. I actually used 3-ply for the stringing, the heartstring there, and yeah, my initials and the date kind of tucked in there. Most of them I try to date and initial my pattern or my kits projects, just so I have an idea of when it was finished. But some of them, especially my very early ones, no dates, no clue. But I do like trying to find fun ways to tuck them in and everything. So that was day 10. Day 11 was waiting for Santa. This fabric I figured out was a Lagana. I don't know what color, but I much prefer working with Lagana's even weave instead of the stringy linen stuff that, you know, kind of thick and thin, little lumpy kind of stuff. I have several projects with that, including the first one, or second one, with the Love You More. That was another one where I was trying to use up scrap fabric and use silks, and that one and another project, I am kind of pulling my hair out on that one. but I've discovered in recent months that I really like working on Lugana's type fabrics and the comfortable even weave that doesn't drive me batty. So digressing, sorry. So this is Waiting for Santa, like I said, by Caroline Selden with Sidewalk Stitchy, or no, Salwick Stitching. And this was in the 2016 issue of Just Cross Stitch Christmas ornament issue. And if you go looking for this particular pattern, be aware that she did two named Just Waiting for Santa. This was the one with the sheep. It actually called to do it on tan fabric, but I thought this was more appropriate, being, you know, twilight, evening hours. At snowfall, not snowfall, dusk with all the stars. But her other one is Waiting for Santa, and it has a little kitten sitting by a mailbox. So if you go searching for the pattern, you might want to add kitten or sheep, just to identify which one's which. I figured that one out when I was trying to kit it up and realizing, oh, there's two, because this one didn't match the other one. Anyways. So that was day 11. Day 12. Day 12, I was actually doing a workshop with a group I'm involved with here now, and they had a workshop with the gold leaf works, which is where you're basically working with metal. So that morning I started Summer Fun by Rebecca Fertina. I'm not sure how to say your last name, I'm sorry. But this is her pattern here. I'm terrible at keeping it centered, I'm sorry. And I started doing this during the lecture portion of the workshop. So, and much to my surprise, I got most of the sandcastle done. So, that up there. And I'm using the fabric and the threads that came in the kit that I had. So, and then the afternoon, this was the workshop that I was working on. Learning how to do stitching work with little strings of metal. So I actually did this whole, it's backwards, the whole stem part during the workshop, and then I added the veins on the leaves, and then this little, I don't want to say tail, the other vein, or vine. About a month later, I basically put the project down for about a month and then came back to it later. But it's a very fast and easy thing, and actually a very nice workshop. I enjoyed that. So that's kind of a little bonus there in my Maynia show and tell here. So, oh, and I didn't say when I finished the You Hold My Heart. I finished that one on June 16th, and then the Waiting for Santa I finished on June 20th. I do try to, like I said, keep track of when I start things and when I finish them. And I think in February or so this year, I grabbed one of my journals that I had lying around and made it into a stitch journal. So keeping track of projects that I cross-stitch, that I attempt to sew. I don't sew very well, but I try. And so there's that. And then on my activity log. So that's partly what I'm working off of when I look down to figure out when I start and finished pieces. So day 13, I started. I guess I should show you the what it should be first. This is the Flamingo Love by Teeny Weeny Bikini, or the Teeny Weeny Bikini series. And how do you say that? Martin Designs, I guess. I think that's how you say it. This is going to be a gift for somebody later, I guess for Christmas. I need to go back to this one next and finish this one. Considering I only have one flamingo head done. But so far, so good. I actually found I dropped a row for dropped a stitch about 5 rows or so in a row, but I fixed that about 2 weeks ago, and that's as far as I've made it with this one. And this one's also a blue Lagana, I think, fabric. Again, I'm guessing. So that's still a work in progress. Okay, so day 14. I'm actually very happy and very proud with day 14's project because this was a same day start and finish. Frogging included. So this is Jeffrey's Christmas Ornament by Betsy Steiner with Earth Threads, excuse me. Oh dear. I can't see. And this was in the 2001 Just Cross Stitch Christmas Ornament issue. So I made a boo-boo on the black tire, and thought I could get away with leaving it, and then once I did like the mud cover, oh darn, what do you call it? I'm actually a little bit better with cars than I am right now, but yeah, the cover thing over the tires. Once I saw that I couldn't fudge that, I ripped out my tire and realigned it. Put it back on its axle, so to speak, and finished him up. So I'm very proud of this little guy. I also did the beads for the tree, and like I said, I like to tuck in my initials and the date in funny places. So this one I stuck into the tree. So it's the only thing hanging on the tree that's falling off the truck. So my next project is sailing to the floor. Excuse me a moment. So this was With You I Am Home by Hands On Design. I used the called for threads, but I did not use the called for fabric. Again, trying to use up stash. And I also don't know what this fabric is, but it's the it's that weave that really kind of drives me nuts. Anyways, so on this one, initials and date got put here and here, there and there on either end of the word home. And then the button is a pretty fun thing because I use that from one of the buttons out of my old button jar. It was not the same color, it was actually light lavender when I started, but I pulled out some nail polish and found a matching blue that matched the threads up here and painted it blue. Waited about a day or so and then attached it to the piece. I actually pulled that out of my hat from an old knitting project I had done years ago. I had made like this pillow, like small carry-on pillow, and I took on a couple of trips, and I wanted to do these very large buttons, but at the time I didn't have time or resources to go to a stitch store and get the buttons at the size I wanted or whatever, so I just made my own. And to make them black, the shiny black that I wanted, I just painted them with nail polish and then coated it with clear nail polish, and it worked fantastic. So that's kind of what I like to do when in need for cross-stitch buttons. So yes, another one of Kathy's patterns. Thank you so much. So we're almost done with Maynia, and with You I'm Home, I started that one on the 15th of May and finished it on June the 12th. So, making progress. I have about 9 out of 22 projects done. Pretty big accomplishment for me. June was kind of my, and I guess July now too, is kind of my finishing months of post-Maynia project starts. So days 16 and 17, they kind of got clumped together because, well, life, work, that sort of fun stuff. So I ended up kind of, with this one and another pair of projects, starting them two sort of in a rush on the same day, just to say, started this one here, started this one there, just to keep the count and the numbers in order. And from what I understand on the Facebook group, that's decent enough catch-up, fudging, whatever you want to call it. So, I apologize, my filming room is getting darker and darker because apparently, and my phone just notified me that there's a storm coming, so that explains why my lighting seems to be getting darker and darker throughout the video. Sorry for that. Not much I can do. Anyways, day 16 and 17, like I said, was one of these two sort of lumped together in one day projects. And this is the Sweetheart Tree. Count your blessings and give thanks. This was kind of easy because, well, there's 2 patterns in one little card, so that helped a lot. So this one is the Count Your Blessings. And I have fun kind of trying to keep track of these, which one's which, because from what I can tell, they're mirror image kit or patterns. So if you hold it this way, they look identical, but if you flip it the right way, then they're opposites. I guess bookends would be another way to call it. Although that theory kind of got hiccuped later on when I discovered that there's a bit of a inconsistency in stitches on this one versus this one right here on the borders. This one kept track with the second row in every other one. Sorry, I keep putting my finger over it. And then the other side. Kind of doubled up here, and then missed another one. Can't remember if it's the top or the bottom now. I know there's a button up, or bead that goes in the top there. But, yeah, just a little minor inconsistency glitch. I don't know if that's part of the pattern or if that was an oops, but it happens. I decided to just leave it as is. So this one was kind of these two were my kind of go-to projects for about a week or two before I went back to the Noel project. So, yeah. So that was 16 and 17. 18 was another finish. This one I started on May 18th and finished on June 9th. And this was a Lizzie Kate pattern. Forgive quickly and kiss slowly. Or, no, and. Just forgive quickly, kiss slowly. And I really, not just the fact that I'm trying to use up stash, but also the fact that I love blues, and this is a really pretty marbles blue. Ooh, it looks darker. I decided to do the red thread that, well, actually one shade off of what it called for. It calls for 816 DMC floss, but I used an 815. Close enough. And I think it came out very, very well. And again, my initials and the date. Why is my finger so high? Kind of tucked into the pattern there. Subtle, discreet, it's there. Another reason why I haven't fully finished a lot of these is because I'm still trying to figure out how I want to finish them. A lot of them I do like this one and that one. Those two. Those are framed, and I do a lot of framing, or have done. A lot of my projects are framed, that's what I'm trying to say. This one, way over here, is just kind of like a hanging, like, cardboard thing. That was an earlier project, but, yeah, I kind of like trying to mix it up, but framing is definitely a fallback for me, so trying to balance it out. Okay. Oh, there's some thunder. Yay! Let's see. Okay, so I made it that far. Day 19. This is You Are My Sunshine, and you being like the little sheep you, not Y-O-U, E-W-E. You Are My Sunshine, and this is from The Whimsical World of Thomas Joseph, cross-stitch embroidery kits. I came across these kits at a Celtic festival in Dandridge, Tennessee, several years ago. One of the vendors sold primarily like kilts and formal wear to go with kilts, and shoes and other stuff, and then kind of pushed off on the back corner facing the cemetery. She had a little rack of cross-stitch stuff and this like kits and charts and a like tall person high rack, and then she had like half a table full of kits and like bookmarks and little miniature kits and these cute guys. And she had, I think she had like 2 or 3 of them. I know she had a couple of the set, but she didn't have the full set. And so at the time I just went and bought 2 of them. It shows all 4 on the back here. So the front's like the basic picture that's painted, or a picture of the painting. And then the back shows all 4 of the projects. I'm really not doing a good job of this, sorry. Of the 4 stitched up. My first one I did was this one here, hand wash only. And I'll bring it down and I'll get it off the wall and show it on next video, I guess. Future video. But this is the You Are My Sunshine one. And this is another one that oops, my needle's poking through. Let's fix that. This is another one where I didn't do very much to really tell much, but you get the idea. So I think it's kind of one side or the other of this sheep here. But it's like the bank, the sandy bank and the grass line. I put in a second color just so I could A, figure out which is the top, and 2, or B, hey, there's something more than just tan. I eventually did get the other 2 kits, so I have all 4 now, and 3 of them. One is complete, and the other 3 I think I started at various points. Just need to go back to that. So, so day 20, pull out a dimensions kit. By this point, Cross Stitch magazine patterns have kind of, I did the quota. Not as many as I had planned on, but still, I chose other kits to kind of keep my interest as well during Maynia's multi-start projects. So this is a dimensions kit. This is Try to Relax. I'm not sure why I'm holding up the pattern on my magnetic board when it's really for the fabric. And this is how much I got done. So I only really did like the dark brown patches here, and then kind of up his foot, his paw, up to his chest, and part of his tail. This part over here is his tail. That's his foot sticking up, and that's the rest of his leg going up to his body, which would be here. Yep. So, I'll get back to them eventually. My next to last project is, guess what? Hands-on design. This is another one of Kathy's anniversary series. I hope it's okay to call it that. And this is You Bring Peace to My Heart. This one I chose the color, I mean the pattern, it says use whatever scrap fabric or threads that you have. I did. So I used this nice eggplant purple, which unfortunately with the lighting now is not looking as purple. I guess it does that way. And then I used orange floss, I don't remember which number. And then the pattern she had like a blue heart, I think. I'm gonna say blue. Forgot already. But she had a nice little heart patched over here, off to the side. Well, since I chose orange, and I recently cut up one of my fiance's shirts for a different project, I had some scrap fabric left over, so I just used the fabric from his shirt and kind of used a stencil to trace out the size heart, and then stitched it on with X's around the side to keep it the cross-stitch theme. And then I put our initials in there, and then the year at the bottom. So, yeah. Very personalized. Thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And I also used some fabric fray on the outside edge because I didn't want to like try to hem it and then sew it down and be kind of too bulky. So it just has like the shirt stiffener iron-on stuff. I'm blanking on what it's called, but fabric adhesive. No. It's an adhesive fabric you iron to the back of fabric. You guys know what I'm talking about. Or most of you do, I guess. And then my last one. Okay, so with the Piece to My Heart, that one started on May 21st and I finished it on June 17th. So that's I finished it a month ago. Exactly 1 month ago. I started to say fairly recent, but not quite. And my last pattern, one I started on my birthday and really didn't get very far, it was another bikini one. The Doctor Is In, which is themed on Doctor Who, which is one of my favorite British TV shows. I guess I can say that on here. The police box says it all right, and the sonic screwdriver. Anyways, when I started the pattern, I only kind of got this like one side of the window part done. It is now a finish. I did make 2 modifications, well 3 actually. The pattern has it on the blue, but I kind of figured, you know, sitting on a beach, you know, extra bathing suit just sitting on the beach, so I like the sand color. So this is Laguna khaki. And the other 2 modifications I made was here in this black part, I used 3 strands of floss instead of 2, because I really didn't want the light color fabric peeking through. And then I also did the 3-ply with the white windows. But I also made another twist with the windows. It is not simply white, it's glow-in-the-dark floss. And same with the little light in the dome. So all of those are glow-in-the-dark. Another little fun twist. So that is all of my Maynia projects that I've started and mostly completed. Like I said, I have 9 out of 22 completed, so that's quite an accomplishment. I am actually kind of looking forward to finishing up some of my smalls and going back to a couple of bigger projects that I have going on now, and then a couple that are kind of next on the lineup. So, I guess, trying to figure out how I want to conclude here. I know at the beginning of the video I touched on the FlossTube, like how I got started on FlossTube and who I found first. The first three I don't have names for. I don't know what the channels were. But I found my friend Cindy, and then binge watched her, and then searched and found Kathy Haberman and with Cross Stitch Designs, no, Hands-On Designs. Oh my gosh, sorry, with Hands-On Designs, and binge watched her in like 3 days flat. And then after that, I started kind of browsing other channels, and I think the next, I actually kind of have a list stacked here of the channels I watched in more or less the order. So after Kathy's, I watched the Coffee Stitcher, or at least some of them, not all of them, because he has like 180 something. I think at last count, or 150. That's a lot to catch up on, so I've been kind of watching him intermittently. Then I found Ginger Gerald Stitcher. Then Just Keep Stitching. Oh my gosh. Pam and Steph, you guys, wow. I can see why Cindy talked about you guys and cannot stop laughing. I mean, I can't either. I'm laughing now. Because I just finished watching your most recent video this morning while I was getting my stuff prepped for this video. And then after that, it's been kind of spreading out to Buckeye Stitcher. I've seen a couple of Priscilla and Chelsea's videos, also partly because of Kathy's videos and her partnership with the Year of Chalk series. So of course I had to go see her and see them and check them out. Then I watched a few of Bonna's videos. She actually came in handy when I started trying to make project bags, which I'll save for another video. She and another, I don't know if they're on FlossTube or not, but another channel helped me kind of put together an idea I had and the project bag template that they had, and just kind of made my own thing. Again, that's for another video. So back to my FlossTube list and shoutouts. Also watched Kansas Girl in a Colorado World. I actually really like her because it sounds like we have similar crossing paths in the sense that I'm from Tennessee and now live in Pennsylvania, and she's from Kansas and now lives in Colorado. Just kind of the whole, hey, I miss home kind of thing. Then also I've seen Kitten Stitcher. Whoops, sorry. Kitten Stitcher. Pretty Southern. The Nana Stitchers. Stitches. This Nana Stitches, sorry. And then another much newer FlossTube, and he actually posted on Facebook questions about what to do for a floss tube and how to get started. About the same time I was thinking of doing the same thing, so his posts and comments were like perfect timing and another nice little push for me to start working on my own. This was Stitching and Sound, and I'm actually going to try your name here, Kyle. Kyle Rackamere. I'm going to just stop there. I made the attempt, I tried it. So yeah, Kyle is about as beginner at FlossTube as I am, except he's got like 6 or 7 on me now. But I did appreciate his post on Facebook about thinking about doing this. What do I need to do? How do I get started? So thank you very much for that, Kyle. That was very helpful for me as well. Some of you, Kathy included, definitely Kathy, I remember, but I think there's another couple of FlossTubers I've commented on, but that was under my old channel and email address. I actually kind of stopped and made a whole new thing to start new and fresh, so just for FlossTube. So yeah. Hi. Good to be with you. And I think as a conclusion, I don't know about you, but this feels like it went very well, so nerves and all. Yeah. And because it keeps getting darker and darker and it's already started raining and everything, I think I'm going to close off for now and wish everybody happy stitching. And in case I didn't mention this at the very beginning of the video, probably because I'm so nervous and everything, this is video number 1, hurrah, on July 17th of 2018, so we'll see how it goes from there and what do you guys think? If you guys want to start some comments or questions to kind of discuss in future videos, or you know, like conversation topics or icebreakers or whatever. I know I kind of glossed over some things like that at the beginning of my video, but feel free to post and comment, like, share, etc. No guarantees that I'll answer immediately, but I will do my best, even if it's a thumbs up. So thank you to everybody for encouraging me to do a FlossTube video and become, I guess, even more active in a very vast and wonderful stitching community. And yeah, happy stitching. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.